good morning, and welcome to another edition of Talk That Tech. The
Number one tech morning show in the world. Good morning.
good morning, and we are back with another episode. Definitely want to thank you all for rocking with us. We actually are going to have a quick one today, and we're not going to take too long, as they say on a Sunday morning. We're not going to be with you too long, but
Not going to
we
filibuster.
but we're gonna definitely try to make sure that we get into some topics here for you. But like always, how was your weekend, brother? Everything was all right overall?
Overall, yeah, it was good. Had a one of our classmates, our friends, years, like literally been knowing this lady for since I was in elementary school. But yeah, they had their 1 year old birthday party, and so we went, did that on Saturday. It was good seeing, sometimes it's years in between seeing people, or all that kind of stuff. So good to see people in person. And so yeah, did that Sunday, regular routine. Went to church, um, went out to eat, and prepared for this week. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But ultimately, that was it for the my weekend. How about yourself?
Nice, man. Well, my weekend was all about cleaning up, chores, preparation, and taking a nap. It was like cleaning up, chores, prepare, do this, do that, take a nap, do that,
Yeah,
take a
yeah,
nap. So it was
yeah,
like
yeah,
back and
yeah.
forth. It was
Get
back
them
and
naps
forth.
in.
Yeah, man. It was definitely something crazy for sure. In regards to just a routine, it just didn't feel like I was, anything extra special, but we're preparing because we have a family member coming over this week, and we wanted to make sure the house was up to par.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
so,
Yeah, you
so
you
that's
definitely always want to do that. So yeah, it makes sense.
yeah, y'all. And let us know how your weekend was in the comments section. Thank you again for rocking with us on this episode. We got a few topics that we're gonna hit, and then let us know your thoughts on it. I'm gonna just talk about two real quick ones, and then we'll get right into the show. But data centers powering AI and cloud computing for what up? We got OTTO in the building. Peace and blessings, fellas. Thank you so much for rocking with us. Appreciate you, sir. As always, thank you so much. We're so glad you're rocking with us. By the way, if you comment, you will be shouted out at the end of the show. So go ahead and let your comments fly. And we have a segment now where we shout you out towards the end. So definitely comment, and let us know your appreciation. We really appreciate it. All right. So yeah, this we got Tech Coach Ralph as well. Good morning, Tech Coach Ralph. Really appreciate you. Um, okay, cool. Um,
Good morning, y'all. Good morning.
Yeah, man, we really appreciate you. Thank you so much for letting us take up your morning this morning. so yeah, man. We got there's just a couple of quick topics that I wanted to hit on, and it leads into something we're gonna talk about later on. But data centers are powering AI and cloud computing for tech giants like Microsoft and Google, like we know, are driving up electricity demand. So if you have seen your electricity bill actually been rising in recent recollection, that
Going
might
up.
be a part of it as well. Now, this is happening mostly to people that are near major cities, right? So the surge is pushing electric bills higher by as much as 10 to 30%. So you think it's the summertime, you think it's your AC, but it actually might be more because the cost
Mm,
of grid upgrades are often spread across all customers. In response, more than a dozen states are imposing special rates for clean energy mandates or emergency controls to keep big tech from passing most costs on to residents. That's you guys. That's us, right? So, but with the demand expected to nearly triple in 3 years, again, this is demand for AI data centers are planning to triple in 3 years. Lawmakers admit the challenge is far from solved. So, y'all pay attention to your electric bills, see what's happening with them, because it may not just be the AC from the summertime. It actually could be because of data centers popping up near you, especially if you're near a major city. So, what's your thoughts on that before we kind of go on to the rest of the show? Just want to hit one topic I wanted to hit because it's going to actually tie into one of our conversations today.
man, that right there is actually pretty crazy. I've been seeing videos um, talk about their electricity bill going through the roof. I'm talking about. I'm talking about bills I ain't never ever seen here. Like
Mm.
I'm like, people actually paying that? There's no way.
Uh,
I'm talking about $1,000 bills. One lady, what did she say? She said her bill went from like two something to six something. Um, I don't know. I'm just like, yo, I've never seen a bill that high. I will say it was like 2 months ago. 2 months ago, my bill had got up to the highest I had ever seen it. It was like one at one time anyway. It was like $400, and I was like,
mm.
"Yo, what's going on?" Had to hit him up. Like, "Hey, yo, get this right, man, or I'm out of here."
What did they say?
Basically, they said that I guess kind of some of the stuff that you were just saying. Like, there was some stuff that they just oh, I did the search, and that's right, because they didn't actually tell me. But after some research, apparently I was also paying for some people's bills who wasn't paying their bill. Like
Mm,
they kind of they kind of make you kind of pay a little bit. I'm like, oh no, wow, we gotta get some stuff going on now. So I
mm.
just changed my plan. But I already know too. That's one thing that they were trying to do as well. Like I was on a grandfathered plan that they definitely didn't offer anymore for like years and
Yeah.
years. So yeah, they got me.
Mm,
'Cause
mm.
here's one way we can fix your price, Mr. Scott. I was like, well, let me see if it makes sense. It made sense, so I went ahead and did it. But you know, that's how it is sometimes.
Yeah. Tech Coach Route says they had electricity insurance.
No, yeah, no, it was crazy though. But yeah, normally my bill would be like one something, bro. So to see a $400 bill, I was like, yo, what's going on? I had never seen a $400 bill, and it's people like I said. I was looking during that time, $1,200. So they made me feel good. I'm like, yo, if y'all paying 1,200, I'm still winning. But that don't mean I want to pay it.
Yeah. Yeah. Change your electricity. Tech Coach Route says change your electricity plan. Joseph, do we need to move? They
Need to
treat
move to
electricity like a
Texas.
phone plan.
Oh yeah.
In minutes.
Well, see, and the other reason I could do that though is because I wasn't on a like it was like I've been off of a contract, you know, for years. So, but I
Mm.
think they try and lock you in the contracts. That's how they do it.
Yeah, I mean, I have my war stories with my electricity bill. When I just moved in,
Mm.
this is a while ago. This is like at least 7, 8 years ago, maybe a decade ago. But when I first moved in, they were checking my meter. At least I didn't know that. And all of a sudden, I get like a 2,000 something dollar bill. And
Oh
they said,
no.
oh, this was from all the stuff that happened in the past. I said, I ain't paying that. I paid a little
Mm-mm.
bit at a time, but this is ridiculous. You didn't even tell me what's going on. Long story short, we got dealt with, but it was just one of those things where it's just like, man, now this is
Yeah.
gonna cause companies to say, ooh, let's see how we could make the excuse of this data centers and don't get me wrong, they are probably going to have an effect on the electricity bill, but like you said, you saw online, we got $1,000 bills, all sort of things are starting to pop up. So they need to get that. Uh, they need to get that fixed. But I do see an opportunity for clean energy, like solar panels. I think you mentioned that. You said you think it's a scam. Well, truth be told, I know people. I've heard of people. 'Cause I used to work for a solar company back in the day. That they
Really?
had that. Yeah, they had. They literally lived off the grid. Some of these people, like they literally had no need for electricity because they had solar power. It's just the scam part is when companies and businesses can get involved and it's like, okay, how can we make the money off of it? Because solar power will do the job if you're the right place. You don't have excessive shading, all the different stuff. It could do the right stuff for you, but it's all about location. It's all about like exposure to sun. There's a lot of different things that go into it. But this whole thing right here, we wanted to make sure you all know about it because it's going to affect everybody. Um, and I'm going to talk about the effects of it just now. Justin didn't pay for 6 months. They got one big beautiful bill, and he was like, "No." That's the funny thing too. I was like waiting for that bill, thinking like, "Okay, I guess they're working
Yeah.
things out,
No.
but I'll pay a little
Yeah.
something here and there," and I still paid. And then they slapped me that $2,000 bill. I'm like, "Get out of here."
Mm-mm.
So so that was crazy. But yeah, let us know what your thoughts are in this shotgun episode. We're going to talk about something else because South Korea actually said they want to have their name in the AI powerhouse conversation. And so what they decided to do is basically they basically said, "Hey, look, listen here. We're pursuing a sovereign AI strategy that's going to help us to build a self-sufficient national AI ecosystem powered by domestic technology from chips to cloud infrastructure." So this is backed by a $49 billion in public-private investment and its dominance in high bandwidth memory chips. And the country aims to launch like foundational national AI models, open source tools, and advanced GPU powered supercomputing centers by 2027. So they ain't playing games. They said like 2 years.
Yeah, that's
So
2 years.
it's a new AI framework act encourages innovating while maintaining transparency, positioning South Korea as a third pole in the global AI race, offering an alternative to US and Chinese dominance. So it's
Let me find
interesting.
out.
It's interesting. Yeah, like they're like, listen, whatever they're doing wrong, we gonna do right. So come by us.
Let me find out 49 billion in 2 years. Oh, they spending that money
they,
on.
they
Let
are
me
not
find out.
playing.
I need to learn some. What's the language over there? Tagalog? No, I don't know. I have no clue. Let me not play. Let me find out though if I need to go over there and catch a bag real quick. Shout out to the entertainers or the competitors. Which ones got y'all? Did y'all see that this weekend? We got entertainers. I'm a competitor. That's what he said. Shadur's Shadur's arch nemesis. But no, seriously, that's crazy though, man. 49 billion in 2 years. They throwing some money out there. So we'll see what they got going.
Yeah, y'all. And with like what I'm trying to think about how that will affect the market really. Where people are like, listen, US, China, y'all figure this out. I'm going to Singapore to get not Singapore, excuse me, South Korea to get this worked on because they actually got this whole thing to get together. And I think it just kind of shows like countries are getting into this. Forget businesses. Countries are like, listen, we're going to support this because we see the momentum and the power that's here. So a lot to talk about there. Let us know. These are like our speed round topics where we just kind of hit them and quit them. And basically, before we get into the meat of the show, you can let us know your thoughts on these particular topics. If you guys didn't know anything about South Korea that we missed, we didn't talk about, let us know as well. But we're about to get in it right now with the going right to the subject at hand. Perplexity bill is mucho dinero. And with that being said, I'm going to pass over to Trey to talk about more.
Yeah, man. So Perplexity, you already know they this is what the thumbnail had on there. Perplexity, they put in a little bit, and you'll see why I said little in a minute, but they put in a little bit, $34.5 billion to buy Google Chrome, the browser, right? Everybody know what Google Chrome is for sure. And now here's what's crazy. So you got Google, who they've been under pressure for a little while now from US regulators, right? Trying to see like, yo, we need to break these dudes up. They're taking over. First of all, we know the dang regulators, they don't know nothing. They like uh, decades behind what's actually going on, right? They still on typewriters talking about, cell phones are the devil. But either way, they are trying to break up Google as because of monopoly concerns. So naturally, if you see that you got some little bread in your company, you like, okay, they trying to break Google up. Let's see if we can pinch off a little piece of it. And because what was up for speculation was, hey, Google Chrome is going to be that piece. Like they're going to break that up. So Perplexity, where do they come in this? All right. So we all know, if you don't know, let me put it like this. Perplexity, they are another like AI startup company, right? So you got the Chat GPTs of the world, you got your Perplexity. It's that same realm. Okay. They came out with a different spin on why their platform was different from Chat GPT and the others, Claude, et cetera. And that's how they were able to come up. Now, when it comes to Perplexity and what they were trying to do, or at least this is what they're saying, um, they offered $34.5 billion in cash. So straight to them, right? Which is more than double what the entire company is worth in itself, right? Now, how are they going to pay for that then? Obviously, they would have gotten loans and et cetera to be able to pay for Chrome if it was a real offer. Okay. Now, because I personally don't believe this was a real offer. And if it was also just like a cheap shot to what owning Chrome would do if they were to actually, be able to purchase it. It would have gave Perplexity like a more powerful platform to be able to expand the AI side to that search tool and basically be able to directly compete against OpenAI, right? Which right now we know they've dominated because they were first to market type of deal. Now, here's the thing though, y'all. I personally, here's why I said what I said a while ago. I don't know if that was a real offer. When you think about how big Google was, this is kind of like a man, get out of here. Or I'll say two sides. So you got one side, whereas we know what Perplexity is because we be on this AI stuff all the time. We be in, we be on in the topics. We be looking, searching. Oh, Perplexity. Let's try it out. A lot of the world still doesn't know what Perplexity. They barely finding out about ChatGPT. So marketing 101 to me says, how can I put my name in the hat and kind of get a little boost here? Oh, they're talking about breaking up Google. Hey, let's throw out a number, a big enough number to get some headlines, but also not nowhere near the number that needs to be paid to actually be able to make something happen. Because why? Headlines are going to put me in there. Oh, Perplexity puts in an offer to buy Google Chrome. Oh, what is Perplexity? Google searching, downloads, stuff goes up. All for what? For marketing. Because at the end of the day, Google is worth way too much money for a $34.5 billion offer. I'm sorry. You telling me Google Chrome, I don't even know. They probably spend that much just to Apple to make sure that they're the preferred browser. I would need to look it up. I've looked at it before, but there's absolutely no way. Multiple trillions of dollars is what Google is worth. And you telling me Google Chrome is only worth 34 billion? You need to add a couple hundred billion on there to actually even make it a real offer. So that's the one side. That's the other side to me. You got the marketing side, like, hey, cool, haha. But then the other side is it wasn't enough money to even make this a real deal. So, anyways, what Google said, right? So far, Google's like, no comment. This little pipsqueak. I'm not even gonna say anything, right? But their main thing that they focusing on is fighting these cases so that they can stay a full company and stay the giant that they've always been. So that they don't have to sell off Chrome. So other potential buyers, if Chrome does go up for sale, this is what they're saying. You got OpenAI, you got Yahoo, and then Apollo Global Management. I have no clue what that is, but I'm going to definitely look it up. Because how are you big enough to even be a potential buyer? Maybe they're a conglomerate. We got to know what's going on. I see. We got some comments in the in the comments section. Yahoo, yeah, Yahoo's still around. Yeah, oh Yahoo still. Yeah, you don't use it. There's still people though. Your granny, pull up Yahoo. That's who I trust. We're gonna see though. So yeah, y'all, it was definitely at the very least, it was for sure attention grabbing, and it shows some potential in how much these browsers actually can be. But at the end of the day, like I said, we talking 300-400 billion. Before, like, if you think about how big Google is, you got to be at the 300-400 billion if you're gonna be a real offer. In my mind, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just think it's a big part of the company, And yeah, that just was not even close to what you need to be offering. Um, so yeah, we'll see also if they could even buy it, right? Like if that was a thing, if they'd even be able to purchase it, we don't know. What do y'all think about this whole ordeal? Do y'all think um, that this was enough? Like, do y'all think this was justified, or do y'all think, hey man, they playing games, they trying to get this publicity up, which at the end of the day is a part of it, right? I know they got crazy downloads just from this whole thing. So it's all a part of the game. And sometimes you gotta, use the big brother to pull up on.
Wow. Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna go to the comment section before I say my thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to get Techo Drop in the building here. He says, let me go back a little bit further than that, but he said, I said ChatGPT to my mom yesterday, and she looked at me with a blank face. Ain't
Hey,
that the
bro.
truth?
Oh, it's real.
Ain't that the
Like
truth?
when you in it, you don't realize and you think everybody knows about this stuff or everybody's, on it. Even at the end of the day, even if it's one thing to know about it, then it's a whole other thing to actually have used it. Then if you did use it, it's a whole other thing. Like, was it one time? Was it just, oh, what's
Yeah.
the what's the real shade of this blue? Like it's very minimal, in the grand scheme. So all these companies are trying to get more visibility.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. He said also Techo Drop says it was a real offer if Google accepted it. It is what it's worth when it gets depending on what it gets
Yeah,
sold by, Which is
yeah.
true. Which is true. Which is true. I ain't gonna lie. But I said to myself, I said, Yahoo. It's like a snotty nosed nerd who finds a winning raffle ticket during the prom. Say, hey, I got something here.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I mean, I know, and then Techo's Ralph wanted to defend Yahoo a little bit. He says my mom still uses Yahoo, and some younger people still have Yahoo addresses too.
This is a
What
fact.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
My wife still has a Yahoo email. I don't. I think she doesn't use it like that anymore, but she definitely was using it like crazy for a while. I'm like, what are you doing? To each his own. To each his own.
Yeah, they listen. That's why they can't get mad at Google because listen, Yahoo email is still out there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so that way they
Keeping the
can't get
lights
mad.
on.
Keep your lights on, right? So that shows you the power of email. We got to probably dive into that, even though it's something that kind of goes over our mind. But the power of being an email provider, like how much revenue is that bringing in through ads and all this different other stuff. Maybe one day we could talk
Shout out
about that.
shout out to electronic mail, man.
Electronic mail, yes.
That's what I call it. Be throwing people off. Well, what? Like email, man.
Email. Electronic mail, email for short. Technically, Ralph says I did end up building her an app on Lovable like an hour though. So from not knowing about ChatGPT to her having her own app, I think that's commendable by
Mind
her
blown.
son. Listen, let me just bump you up a couple of rates. Same thing with my parents. They don't know anything about ChatGPT. They just asked me to help proofread their stuff, and I said sure. And I put it in the chat,
Send it
and I
over.
sent it back. Send it back. So I'm like, here you
Yeah,
go. She's like, oh, that's so
yeah.
excellent. My son is brilliant. I'm like, yeah, sure. So kudos there. But I want to definitely talk about the subject really quickly about a couple of things that was said. You know, just a couple quick searches on top of what we're doing. But Bloomberg actually said that Chrome, in regards to the value of it, could be worth hundreds of billions, but the higher than any previous estimate by but this is higher than anything that they estimated before because November which of 2024, I believe Bloomberg said that they estimated the value to be around 20 billion. So in about a year, almost a year, because we're in August right now, that has possibly increased closer to 80, closer to the $100 billion mark. However, I think the one of the biggest ones was from DuckDuckGo CEO who says they estimated the value to be around 50 billion when they first looked at it. So coming at that 34.5 billion offer, it could like you said be a little bit of a, like, what are you talking about? Thinking also about the fact that Google is a $2.75 trillion company,
That's what I'm saying, bro.
and
There's no
so
way.
spending billions is not nothing foreign to them, or it's probably they probably spend that daily.
Man, they spend that in free lunch for the employees, man. There's no way, bro. There's no way. Like, you're gonna have to strong arm me to sell this part of the business for 30, 50 bit, like 80 bit. Like, that's crazy. I know it's crazy numbers, but at the end of the day, bro, you got to think the ads that have gone through Google Chrome, and like, I don't know. There's no way.
Ain't no way.
If the company is, you said 2.75 trillion or
Yeah, about
whatever, 2.
5 trillion, I think Google is worth right now.
If the company is 2.75 trillion, I need at minimum 100, but I'm going 2 or 3
if possible. Yeah. So interesting. Perplexity, like that was a good point. Perplexity getting their name out there. Maybe that's the case. Tech Coach Ralph says you always got to start low on your offer. The art of negotiation, yes, according to TCR.
Yeah. No, it was smart on the other companies, like on their part. Oh, smart. Hey, legislators, I know y'all don't know, but let's we gonna say 30 billion. We're gonna say 50 billion. Meanwhile, they looking at it like, yeah, that seems reasonable. All right, let's get this thing done. And they knowing they gotta steal, but there's no way. They're gonna have to strong arm them. I'm telling you, like, that's the only way they're giving that up for that amount. Period.
Yeah, and it's funny because you're saying that there's other places that say, you know, Perplexity makes an audacious offer with the 34.5 billion, even though Google has said, according to AI Magazine, that it is not for sale. Chrome is not for sale. So we'll see where this goes. Tech Coach Ralph says, make me a counter offer. He said if Google made a counter, we would see how much they value Chrome, and companies could start making offers. That's why Google ignore them. They don't want to tip their hand. Yeah. Very well said. I think that's it. I think that right there makes sense.
Yeah. I wouldn't say nothing either.
Yeah, mom's the word. Mom is the word. How much does this cost? Yes. I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you anything, because then that could dilute, that could make it an issue. And also the U.S. justice system is looking at them like, okay, how much is it worth? We're gonna probably make you sell it for that amount. So they have to be smart. And I was talking to somebody about this the other day. Like, I think it was probably you and I or somebody else was talking about how shrewd you have to be in business. Like silence could be your best friend sometimes, but then also silence could be like it implicates you. Like, just being very shrewd. Oh, you know what it was? I was actually watching the Gil Arenas podcast. It's back, and Stephen A. Smith was there, and he was talking about that. Like, you got to like watch, like, just like he like, there's too much at stake for me to like slip up, you know. Yeah. So there's a lot of things going on there for sure. OTTO says Operation Takeover says Chrome big out the big boys to the bring the big girls to the yard. It's that baddie with the way baddie.
Yeah.
Oh man, of course Google does that. Google in general brings out the piranhas. They smell blood in the water. They come rushing in.
Don't turn around. Don't you turn around.
Don't turn around. And then Tech Coach Ralph says if Google was feeding, they would accept cheeseburgers. That's true. They would be like, listen, we in trouble. What you got for us?
Yeah.
Let us know.
But you know, they been getting to the bag. What's them twins' name? I don't even know. We ain't seen them forever.
Oh, some of the McDonald's twins?
No. Is that their last name?
I thought it was McDonald's.
McDonald?
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, look it up.
Oh, no, not the twins for the McDonald's. No, the actual Google, the guys from Google.
Oh, sorry. I was like, I saw burgers. I'm like, oh, I guess we're talking about McDonald's.
No.
Oh man. And then Techo Drop says whenever a celeb says they too big to slip up and they lecture people, then you get a Shannon Sharp situation with $25 million settlement. I think it's different coming from Stephen A. But I understand what you mean. Techo Drop says the Olsen twins. He's like, I don't think those are the ones. He said no idea who these twins are. But they work at Google. They work at Google, right? That's who you're referring to, I believe.
I don't know. I'm trying to see. Maybe I'm tripping. because I know you got Sergey, but let me look it up. Anyways, we'll keep going. I don't even know. Maybe I'm thinking about a different business.
Yeah, it's all good,
So
man. All good.
yeah, keep
All
it rolling.
Yeah, we got a couple of stuff to hit today, and we'll be real brief with these. You also stay pat. Don't hop off and try to get some. If you get coffee, just listen while we do this. But we get the Tech Wire. This segment is powered by Black Tech Global, your premier directory for upcoming tech events. Visit blacktechglobal.com for more. Before I get into this, if you're new, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe if you have not to Talk That Tech Show. That's youtube.com/ at Talk That Tech Show exclamation point. Now it's getting no exclamation point, but Talk That Tech Show. And right now, we're going to hit a couple events that are coming up that you want to check on your radar. We got August 21st to the 23rd, Baddies in Tech. That's happening in New York City, BaddieCon. Talking about Baddies, OTTO. They have them coming to New York. $150 for that started, but you definitely want to check out more because of different prices. And then August 27th, we have Champagne and Melanin. Prepare to Pivot. That's Houston, Texas for that particular event. And then we have a couple events in September, starting from 10th to the 11th, which is Midwest Con. You want to check that out there. You have also GovTech Con. It's coming in Washington, D.C., close to that time, around the 11th to the 13th, followed by Black Women in Data Summit in Atlanta, Georgia. Then back in New York and Brooklyn, they have Sisters in Sales. That's the 18th to the 20th. And then from the 18th to the 10th, they have Africon in Atlanta, Georgia. A lot of things are happening in September, y'all. I would read them all, but it's a list here. September, actually, there's a couple more. Tech and Wealth Summit, that's in Seattle, Washington, 18th to the 20th. September 22nd to the 27th, Tulsa Tech Week, that's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And then September 24th to the 26th, National Black MBA Conference in Houston, Texas. Last but not least, September 26th to 27th, BTS Digital Empower Summit in Detroit, Michigan. Check that out for that particular event. If you've missed anything I said, just go to blacktechglobal.com. Again, that's blacktechglobal.com, your premier directory for upcoming tech events, mixers, conferences, and everything in between. So we're halfway through the show. We're going to give a shout out to those that have been commenting. So just to remind you, if you want to get a shout out as well, all you got to do is comment. It don't cost a thing, but feel free to comment. Now, this particular topic that we're about to hit, oh man, this one is a little, I won't say close to home for me yet, but it's something that came up on my radar a couple of weeks ago. And that's why we talked about the data centers in the beginning. Now, I'm very fascinated by the data centers because the demand is huge. And we talked about the demand. We talked about what South Korea is looking to do. We talked about what's going on. But there's a situation that if you are in Memphis, you're more familiar with in regards to what is actually happening there right now. And I'll just call this segment Memphis versus Elon Musk. So if you're not familiar with this one, then hold on to your seat. If you are familiar with this one, we definitely need to talk about it. Before I do, Tech Coach Ralph says, make sure you like, share, and subscribe too. Stop watching in the closet. We don't bite. Come on out. Come on out. All right. So let's dive into this story. I want to get everybody's thoughts on this one because this one is a big one. Elon Musk's AI company, XAI, has built a massive data center called Colossus. So that lets you know how big it is. In Southwest Memphis, it's a mostly Black, low-income community, and the facility is sparking major controversy because of the impact on the environment and health of the local residents. Now, there's a couple issues with this one. One is power and pollution, right? The data center needs huge amounts of energy to run Musk AI system, like we talked about earlier. Local utilities couldn't supply enough, so XAI brought in 35 methane gas turbines, which generate power equal to 80,000 homes, right? These turbines are releasing 1,200 to 2,000 tons of nitrogen oxides every year, worse than nearby airports. So many of the turbines don't have pollution controls and may be operating without proper permits. So the health and environment, how is this being affected? Southwest Memphis residents already live with high levels of industrial pollution, and locals report worsening air quality and health problems since turbines started running. The NAACP and the environment groups have filed lawsuits already saying that XAI is breaking the Clean Air Act. Also, the site is in Boxtown and nearby neighborhoods areas with long history of environmental racism, where polluting industries are often placed in poor Black communities. Many residents feel left out of decision making while carrying the health burden, and activists like Sean Pearson and Republican Justin J. Pearson are leading efforts to stop or regulate XAI's operation. So this is where it gets the community now facing the city and having a battle there. City officials first called the project an economic opportunity, but residents and activists said the cost of pollution, health risks, and lack of transparency far outweigh any benefits. So now, what does this in the conclusion say? That the fight about more than just Memphis. It highlights a larger issue as AI companies race to build massive data centers. The communities where they land may pay the price in pollution, health, and inequality. And so that, with that being said, I'm gonna go to the comment section before I'll give you a chance to think about what you want to say there. Tech Coach Rouse says no idea who the twins are, but he says make sure you. Okay, this is from before. Did the
Yeah,
city
it was the Winklevoss twins, bro. I was thinking about them, but they were for Facebook and stuff. Like they were on that side. So yeah, it was the Winklevoss twins. I straight forgot.
Okay, got you. Got you. Yeah. Did the city of Memphis approve this? It looks like they might have. The city might have approved it, but the community said, according to the community, they said they didn't have any say in this. They kind of dive into a few other things. Now, also, just to keep in mind that Memphis sits on one of the cleanest like water reserves in the world. They've been known to have the cleanest water because of this kind of reserve. I don't know what it's called per se, but this reserve is like underneath the ground. They've been able to utilize it and have like the cleanest water. So they've been having a battle when it comes to claiming that water because it's like this almost um, I won't say limitless, but it's definitely something that a lot of companies would have capitalize on. So they've been having that battle, making sure they preserve that. And then on top of this, now you have this, which could be infecting that water. That's another thing as well that people have been thinking about. Let me go to the Tech Coach Ralph's comments, and then I'm gonna pass it back to you, Trey. He says, "Side, this is annoying. We don't go to our city government meetings, don't vote, don't care, and then after the fact, we whine, cry, and complain. How would they know they don't go to city government meetings?" I don't know that. I can't say they don't go. That's to my knowledge. I don't know, but I know this has been an issue that has been
Man, I
raised.
know these. They
But I
ain't
don't.
going, Joseph. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah. Well,
They ain't
listen.
going.
I'm gonna pass it back to you. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no. I mean, I grew up in I think I've said this before. Hood adjacent, right? I was right there on the edge, right? AKA I went to school with them, obviously, and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, is right. When I go back to that older, like that neighborhood that I grew up in, the roads jacked up, uh, lights out, like on the street posts and stuff like that. And then you go back over here and you wonder, like, man, why in the world, if it's a pothole, is it fixed like almost instantly? And what I realized over time, we never like they complain over there where I grew up. They complain, but
Yeah.
they never actually call the right people.
Mm.
And then I realized, like where I live now, as soon as something happens, somebody's on the phone. Hey, I need my tax dollars at work, man. Get
Yeah.
it fixed, get it right. Meanwhile, on the other side, hey, they not saying that, oh man, these streets is crazy. Oh my God, what's going on? They need to fix them, they need to do, but it's not actually going to the place where it needs to go. And it is pretty sad because you're right. The one thing that you can change, the one thing that you can do, you actually don't do anything about it. And we're talking about the majority of people. Are there some? Yeah, but it's not the majority. At the end of the day, I can tell you right now, them moving this to Memphis, Tennessee, interesting. It is interesting. I bet it was probably one of the ones that, hey, yeah, we're gonna let it come in, no problem.
Mm.
We're gonna let it come in, no problem. You go and look at Memphis. I was just watching some little mini documentary on YouTube. I think that's where Young Dolph was from, and it was talking about him growing up and all this kind of stuff. And the crime rate there is crazy. Like when you think about how many people are that live in Memphis, it was like 500 or 600,000 people, but the amount of crime is through the roof. But it's like, why would they send all that stuff there with the pollution and all this stuff? Ain't nobody gonna say nothing, man. Nobody's gonna say anything. So when you was just reading it off, I'm like, of course they let that go through. Of course they setting up shop there to pollute the air over there and do whatever else is gonna come with creating that spot. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing. So it's pretty sad, but yeah, I mean it's only 500,000 or 600,000 people in Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah, it's a definitely a smaller city, but like what was said earlier, that's a lot of questions there. If y'all know in the chat, let us know. This is what we like to talk about. But the questions are: did the people really know, or were they basically dangled the carrot that said, "Hey, we'll provide jobs in the area. We'll do this. We'll do that.
Yeah,
we'll
of course.
improve." Maybe that's what they were promised, and maybe that they didn't deliver on the job opportunities. Maybe they did deliver on it, but they realized that it wasn't worth the cost. I'm gonna go to Tech Coaches Ralph question in a second, but we're gonna go to Time Magazine real quickly. They said at the request of Time, researchers at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, ran an analysis on the air quality in South Memphis over the last couple of years based on public satellite data from NASA and the European Space Agency. This is again from Time. They said they found that the average concentrations of nitrogen dioxide have increased by 3% when comparing periods before June 2024 and afterward. And it's also found that the peak nitrogen dioxide concentration levels have increased by 79% from pre-XAI levels in areas immediately surrounding the data center, and by 9% in nearby Boxtown, that place that we referred to, where honestly, according to Time Magazine, the median income is around $37,000.
I need to look up. What does nitrogen oxide do to my body or something? I didn't go to college, so I need to, like, I have no clue. Like, we saying it, but I don't know.
Nitrogen dioxide. Oh yeah, that can kill you.
No, nitrogen oxide.
Dioxide.
Okay. So it can kill you. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Like I said, of course. Here's what I did. Hey man, we're gonna give you jobs and all this stuff, opportunities. Meanwhile, you're not looking at this right here. This all you saw. There's a whole bunch of stuff to come with that, but you didn't count up the cost. And now you want to kind of go back on renege and go back, and they're like, oh no, you accepted the deal. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and it's sad because they could have done this anywhere else. There's a lot of land available. Where there's a lot of land available. Just to kind of like, according to Google, real quickly, I kind of went over a little overboard that could kill you, but it definitely could hurt your respiratory system, right? It's irritating the respiratory system and potentially causing long-term respiratory issues. So nobody wants to deal with that. And so if you want to think about it this way, when we breathe in oxygen, right, carbon dioxide is emitted, right? And then that goes into the trees, and then the trees turn out back.
When we breathe it out.
Yeah. And so,
right.
And so maybe there's ways that they can use more cleaner energy. That's what they're probably trying to alert in the whole thing. But let me go to Tech Coach Ralph. Yes,
they're gonna do that, but they're gonna do this first. They'll do that in the other areas, in the other states, the clean one. Yeah.
And then they'll let it ride out here. Let's see what Tech Coach Ralph says. He said, and the city probably getting a lot of money that taxes aren't collecting.
Oh, for sure.
And Tech Coach Ralph said, could be job opportunities, like I mentioned earlier. That's true. And then the government officials hit line with that Terrence Howard and Hustle and Flow. Come on down here, man. Listen, hey, they saw an opportunity. I was in Memphis earlier this year, and not in South Memphis. I was just in the city center, and it's just sad, because it's a place that could have a lot of potential, and I think that it has a lot of potential. Don't get me wrong, but things like this do set it back. They do hurt the people that are there, and for the majority of people that I interacted with are kind, loving people that are nice. And so when you see stuff like this, it kind of gets a little bit like, man, um, if they had a say, if they voted, if they called, would it have made a difference? Or the city was ready bent to do this because they want to get ahead of this AI wave and reap the benefits of it. Time will tell, but y'all let us know in the
It's
comment
always a
section what you
cost.
think. It is a cost. Yeah, there's definitely a cost for sure.
Always.
Definitely a cost for sure. Well, listen, now we're getting close to that show. We're going to shout out those folks that commented. And we got Tech Coach Ralph, who said if Google was feeding, they would accept cheeseburgers. Thank you for rocking on with us in the show. We're going to shout you out and thank you and appreciate you for commenting. Also, we have OTTO that commented, says Chrome big out the big boys of the yard. It's that baddie with the fatty. Yes, thank you so much, y'all, for commenting on the show and definitely sharing your thoughts and opinions. Tech Coach Ralph says the foods we eat, things we drink, and the murder rate, STDs, etc., will kill us way before long-term respiratory issues kill us. True, but I rather not have them if I had a choice. But I hear what you're saying. Like we have to
Rather
make
not have.
decisions. Yeah, go ahead.
Rather not have what?
Respiratory issues.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh. I mean, that's also going to come with what he just said. The food you
no,
eat, the things you drink, like
I get it. I get it. It's all about
that come with it.
decisions. Yeah, it's all about decisions. Yeah, I totally get that. Um, that he was saying about decisions. I'm just saying, how about we don't have any of that? The foods we eat, the things we drink, the murder rate, like all those different things. Like, how
They're
about
not
we
going to
change
do
all
it.
of it?
Not
Yeah,
going to do it. You think about it. They'll give it to you, but then most people they'll be like, $6 for bread, $7 for whatever, and you don't realize, like, yeah, you rather pay that $7 for that bread now than $200 for insulin later.
hmm.
But you don't think about it like that. The $6 bread was actually cheaper than what you're gonna be paying for the diabetes or the um, you know, I, the line is long, the list is long,
Yeah,
but it's way cheaper if you think about it up front. But you know,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, yep. No, absolutely true. Absolutely true. And with that being said, y'all, again, thank you guys for rocking with us. We really appreciated you. And now we're going to transition over to one of our favorite segments.
oh, but don't know what happened to Joseph. But like he said, we'll transition over to Brown Box Special, and we'll see when he. Oh, there he is.
Knocked out today. This is the second time happening. Anyway, I'm back. All right, the Brown Box Special, y'all. We're rounded out with the Brown Box Special, y'all. And this one's interesting because what happens when you get a job that never existed? We're going to talk about that right now. So this happened. And the person says, this is a credit to Reddit, by the way. This person said, so this just happened and I'm freaking out. A few weeks ago, I applied to a bunch of jobs online, nothing fancy, just looking for something to pay the bills. One of them got back to me super fast. No interview, no reference check, just an email saying, welcome to the team. Report to
Oh
the
no.
office on Monday. What? But yeah, I'm gonna keep reading and then we can talk about it. First of all, that's crazy. Um, Weird, right? But I was broke, so I figured, why not?
Decisions.
Oh, decisions. Don't eat the cheeseburger. Stay away from the 50-cent quart of water. Anyway, Monday rolls around and I show up at this fancy office building. There's a fully furnished desk with my name on it. Whoa, a work laptop and ID badge. But here's where it gets weird. Nobody knew what my job was. I asked the receptionist. She just smiled and said, "Oh, you must be from corporate." Wait, what? Corporate what? And my boss introduces himself, shakes my hand, and goes, "Glad to have you on board." I asked him exactly my role is, and he just laughs and says, the usual. Just keep doing what you're doing. Twilight Zone. I have no idea what I'm doing. For the past 2 weeks, I've been showing up, sitting at my desk, occasionally typing random stuff into Excel to look busy. My bank account, they're paying me. And not just a little, way more than I expected. I tried looking up the company and it doesn't exist. The website is a single landing page with no real info. no LinkedIn presence, nothing. So now I'm sitting here making more money than I ever have at a job I don't understand for a company that might not even be real. What do I do? Quit before I end up in some government conspiracy or ride this out until someone figures out the mistake? That's wild, brother. I think you
bro.
are
Ain't
probably
no way.
part of a money laundering scheme. Get out.
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Oh, making more money than he ever has. Literally,
Mm-mm.
probably watching Netflix videos and typing his name on Excel 250,000 times.
Boy, ain't no way. First
Yeah,
of all, I wouldn't even went up there. That's number one. But at the
yeah.
end of the day, like I don't know. Good luck. Good luck. And
Oh
then
man,
you end up excommunicado on the side of the road.
they had your name.
It's money laundering, bro. I like what's going on? How they mm-mm. Good luck.
So when you need to like get something going in your life and verify employment, what you gonna say? I work here. I make this much doing.
I mean, he might as well. Y'all remember Martin? He might as well be Tommy, man. It's like that one episode. Tommy never had a job, but then there was this one episode where Martin, he was like, you ain't got no job, Tommy. And Tommy was like, Martin, I got a job. Tommy, it was a black building with with no windows and nothing else, no sign. And he was like, oh no, I work at the white building across the street now. Like, bro, that's what you just did. Good luck. Good luck.
So someone said this in the comment section. I said, I had a similar situation happen. This is on Reddit, by the way, y'all. I had a similar situation happen with a friend. Turns out the company was some sort of Hong Kong money laundering front. As near as he could tell, no one actually did anything. No one actually knew what was being worked on. Everyone was significantly about 20% above market value, overpaid, and everyone got laid off about 5 years later. 5 years? It's a long time. Just hang out there for 5 years doing nothing, right? Got laid off about 5 years later when the FBI came in and arrested every single member of management. That makes me think it's some sort of advanced, extremely high level money laundering front for someone. Makes sense.
If it seems too good to be true, it probably is, bro. This is something in between Tommy from Martin and Severance. Like they didn't know what they was working on, but they was just working on stuff. They had no clue they were killing people behind the scenes. Severance on Apple TV, but yeah, that's ridiculous. Put it up, man. Make some investments. Get to your number and get out of there. I guess if you
5 years, 20% above market value.
I wouldn't be there 5 years, bro. Not 5 years. That's crazy.
All right, let me go to the comment section about this, y'all. I want to hear from people. If you got a job, they got your name, ID, everything. You are sitting there doing nothing for 5 years. First of all, how long would you stay? First of all, would you even accept the offer? You're getting paid, right? You're getting that money. Would you say, hey, listen, times are tough right now. I don't need to know what's going on here. I'm good. What would you do? I'm just curious. What would you do? Tech Coach Rouse says, I remember that episode.
Yeah,
I remember
man.
that episode.
Too funny.
I'm trying to think of somebody. Would somebody say, listen, my integrity is not that high that I need to like worry about that. Listen, they arrested management, not the people. I'm good. I'm gonna do it. Would you stay at this company or even get started in this company for 5 years?
My life is worth too much. I can't be putting myself in a situation where I don't even know somebody just run up in there one day.
Exactly. And you
don't know what you're doing.
You listen with the wrong people. Yeah, they got real beef on the streets, and they kind of coming through. Forget the FBI.
I value my life too much.
Tech Coach Ralph says not taking that job, and I expected that from Tech Coach Ralph. Not about integrity, no IRS or jail, no IRS or jail. That's true. You got to deal with them boys. IRS be like, hey, we got to figure out this tax situation here. Listen, there's no rest for the wicked, as they say, and and just because you're not the one pulling the strings on the top does not mean that you cannot get these strays at the bottom. And I want to find out what happened to this person because they were there for 5 years. I do not see any updates from this Reddit street, for this Reddit. So I don't know if they what their status is in
Knocked them off.
regards to you know. Well, listen, y'all, that was you. Hey, I don't hold no judgment. But I'm just saying it may not be worth the juice may not be worth the squeeze. The juice may not be worth the squeeze, y'all. All right. With that being said, we want to thank you again for rocking with us. Thank you. Shout out to Tech Coach Ralph and OTTO today. Today's people that commented. You guys get a shout out at the end. Let's promise, like we said, we shout you out again. Before we're gonna shout you out again. Thank you so much for rocking with us and tuning in to Talk That Tech. The
#1 tech morning show in the world, baby. We'll see y'all next week.
peace and elbow grease.